Time to get serious with Mega March.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mega March. We are going through all of the Mega Man X designs with Oops All X's. You might think we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here, but I think that we're not. Because this episode is going to get Giga, maybe more than you'd expect. My name is ColemanX, and I am joined with...
Twitch from REVO. I'm feeling particularly Giga today. How about you?
I'm feeling Energent.
Okay, so, welcome to the next episode of Oops All X's. As mentioned, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel. I'm just kidding, no we're not. But there's at least one armor that I think is firmly at the bottom of the barrel, because it's just so extra that I can't in good faith enjoy it. I've talked about it in the past before. Is this our first Giga Armor with the sword here?
Yeah, let's start with the Giga Armor.
Yeah, and then later we'll talk about the Giga Armor. Don't worry, folks. It'll make sense when we get there. Giga Armor. X has a sword now.
It's a reinforced sword. Like, look at it. It's got little extra bits.
It's nice. The sword itself is fine. I got no problems with that. But this armor for X is like when like a 12-year-old makes up a superhero and they just start giving them every power. That's what this armor makes me think of. It's kind of immature looking, and I understand why I didn't get a model kit.
Well, how are you gonna make it glow in a model kit?
Yeah, okay, so this armor makes X's shins and shoulder pads turn Super Saiyan, but only those.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have
That's
electricity in them.
There's electricity in them?
If you look at this group picture here, like I never noticed this. I've never seen this picture in high quality. You can see like electricity flowing through it.
Oh, I guess you can. Well, okay. I guess
It's another armor. It's another armor he got from Zero somehow.
Somehow.
Mega Mission somehow.
Did they... Wait, is this explained in some way? Does the wiki have any info on this?
I read it for like a second, and I'm like, let's just get the episode started. Here, let's pause, and then we'll figure it out.
Like, if I'm understanding the evolution correctly, I don't think these are in the correct order. Or at least Mega Mission 3 is in the incorrect order, because we can see all over there on the left we have Mega Mission 1, and X has the Clear Buster, and then it has the what was it? The High Clear Buster, the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final form is X with like all the armor on. He has all the beans this time, which is the progression that it went in. Then we have this one over here where it looks like it's Zero had like an armor, and then he gets like an upgrade to that armor, and then X gets the whole thing.
Yes, that's what happened. Zero got a Dr. Light capsule, and they gave him the Energen Armor, which was upgraded to the Neo Armor, and then Zero jobs out like he does, and then he gives the remainder of his power and the armor to X, and it becomes the Giga Armor.
I feel like that was a trend in the Mega Armor series, Mega Mission, where like a character fuses with another character. I think they were high off of like Dragon Ball Z vibes at the time. It was the 90s, so like I think that checks out.
Well, I think it's more of the games don't want X to be the main character, so let's do it in the cards at least.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're like, oh, everyone gives him the stuff. He's the cool guy.
If you go look at the other thingy... Oh, wait, no. Oh, I'm just an idiot. Okay, no, Mega Mission 3 is also in the correct order. I had it backwards. I thought the shoulder pads were the wrong color. You can see in Mega Mission 3, he's got that one armor. What was it? The
EX?
The EX armor, and then Zero has the EX armor. And then at the bottom there, X gets both, and he becomes, like, OP.
All X, according to the model kits.
All X, which honestly is like the coolest looking one on this page, in my opinion.
It's really good. But we're not talking about that one. We're getting back to Giga. Okay, so I like this armor, but it comes from I saw it first when I was a kid and I didn't recognize it. And it was, early internet. and you just see these random art pieces. Like, I remember I had this one specifically, and I had it printed out, and it had all these armors, and I'm like, Zero gets armor, X gets armor, what is this? I've played X3. That doesn't happen. What's a Mega Mission? But, I don't know, I like it. I like X with a sword. The armor's so out there that it's kind of fun. But I totally agree that it's way too much.
It's, okay, so is it fun? Yes.
It's fun, yes.
Yeah, definitely it's fun, but in my opinion, it's ugly.
I'll totally give you that, but I still wouldn't mind having a toy of this. Like, in this one card, where the colors are subdued a little bit, that one, it looks better, because it's not as shiny.
There's not as much glowy crap all over it,
yeah.
and I have to admit, it does actually look better there, because it's not so busy.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at it, I kind of like the idea that it just has like energy flowing off of it like all the time. Like, okay, I can get behind that. But I just think that maybe it's just a matter of the illustration or something. I don't know.
It could be. I mean, I think the energy flowing off is, going back to the Dragon Ball Z thing, because he does the Giga Crush and it destroys the armor, so it's like all that energy is just like trying to escape, and then he all at once. So I get where it's going and where it's coming from. But I don't know, I think it looks neat. I like the red Buster, like it's mostly red with a little missile thing on the side. We're back to X1.
My problem with that Buster, which is again why I think they were trying to cram too much into one, is that the Buster barrel is literally split down the middle and it has two different colors on the inside.
It's a magnet.
It's like, why are you doing that? That's too much, Like, if you want a Buster that's ornate like that all around, fine, I don't got a problem with it. But it's the fact that you were like, oh, and also it has a split Buster in the middle, and it has two gems inside. It's like, okay, come on now. I think when the armor isn't like, it isn't so busy with like the crudely drawn like DBZ aura around it. I think it's kind of cool. I think the shapes are nice. I like the shoulder pads. I like how the shoulder pads almost look like eyes. It's kind of neat. It almost looks like a bird beak again. How it's got like that thing in the center. Again, almost like an owl. It has like those horned, things. So like it has some good shapes to it. Like, so I'm not like totally against it. I just think that it's got too much. It's like, all right, so you have the complexity of the armor as it is, but then they're like, okay, let's add a random split in the barrel, let's add all these extra little details, let's add electricity inside of it, let's give them a sword, let's also put an aura around it. It's just like too much. But here's how I would fix it personally. You see how, so first of all, remove the aura. Just get the aura off of that thing for a minute. Pretend you do not see it. I like the gold on the legs, and I would just put all the areas where there's like crazy electricity going everywhere, I would just make that gold. And I think that would balance out the armor really well. I would also change X's head. I don't know what it is about these armors where they never change X's helmet for some reason. Like, what's up with that?
Too sacred.
I guess. I wish they would just change that a little bit. Make his helmet slightly different. I don't know. That's what I would do. Yeah, that's it. Just make it more consistent. If it was all gold, where that lightning stuff is, I think I'd be fine with it. Or if you just wanted to put the gold on the chest and leave the shoulders as like lightning stuff, I can see that. Like, it would be cool if X was standing there and there's just two pillars of like energy smoking off of his shoulders. That's a cool idea. So I don't want to say this armor is badly designed, because it does, except for that stupid split barrel buster. That's dumb. It's not like it's a bad design. It's just too busy. The extra elements is what makes it go overboard for me. And like, I don't know, like I said, just him, like X holding the crazy ridiculous split buster and all the aura around him and the sword. It's like, I hear X and he's just like, don't fuck with me. I got the power of God and anime on my side. Ah! Like, that's just what he looks like to me. Anyway.
So what do you think about the shape of the sword? Like, it's more of a... I made the shape with my hands. Again, we can't see him, but...
You made this shape with your... I get it. I like it, personally. I think it looks a bit like a broadsword, which is cool. So I kind of like that. It almost looks like X is, like, bathed in holy light. Like he's a paladin of some kind, you know?
Aww.
Yeah, which is all the more reason why I wish that he just had, like, golden armor. Or, like, silver armor or something, and just tone down the shininess. And then... Because then I think if you were to, like... Or even just get rid of his buster and just give him the sword only. Like, instead of his buster hand being there, like, that's right, I'll shoot you, like, just have it gripping the bottom half of the saber handle, and then I would feel like he would look really badass. Like, yes, I have, like, this giant paladin sword, you know, given to me because I was blessed with Zero's energy or something. Like, I think that would be super sick.
I get you.
Can I also just mention, looking at Zero's armor, the Neo armor, it actually looks really cool. I like the weird cosmic blackness that he has going on his armor with the gold. I think that looks really cool. So, if X also had that on here, I think I'd be complaining less, because the blackness would kind of mute out some of the busyness.
Okay, yeah, I get you. But, I don't know. I think this is just a agree to disagree, because, like, I totally get everything that you're saying, but there's just some part of me that can't let it go. You know?
I mean, again, and like I'm looking at it, and like, so I should preface this by saying, like, I think it's a fun armor. I just think from a design perspective, it's too busy and ugly. But like the little kid me is like, that is so cool. Like,
yeah. Just
because it's like, you know, when you're a little kid, more of everything is better. You know.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you.
So.
But
yeah.
Let's energize in a different direction.
Okay.
Because we got the Energen Armor, and it certainly is.
Oh boy, the Energen Armor.
Like, no offense to the person that designed it, you know, because this was a contest thing. Like, it looks fine, but it's just... Well, he's got a cool shield, he throws a fireball, he's wearing a back skirt, just in case.
Just in case, you don't want his hiney hanging out.
Okay, I really love the legs, like how it's got just the 3 shape on the shin, and then the crystal thingy on the foot.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool.
Attacker.
Yeah, it's a makeshift. It's a really expensive toe attacker.
So, okay, the context behind this is that this is called the Energen Armor because this armor takes the idea of Energen crystals in the X series and Zero series and so forth, and turns it into an armor. Energen crystals are basically where, once those were discovered in like X2 or something, or they might have already existed, but like X2 is, like, for us when we first find them, basically, they're just these really powerful energy-filled crystals, which are used for powering Reploids. So there's something a little bit ironic about this, because I'm looking at it, and I'm like, X is just covering himself in, like, Energen crystals, and I said this before we started recording, but I'm like, X, all of those crystals could have powered, like, 15 different cities on their own, and you're using it to play dress-up? Like,
look how good I look!
Yeah, like, it's funny to think that, like, X in the future, of course, it's Copy X, is like, we must preserve all of the Energen crystals and use them sparingly only for humans. Never give any of them to Reploids ever. And then here's, like, past X, and he's just like, boy, I look sweet. Like, he's just covered in them from head to toe.
Yeah.
I think this could be a cool idea, though.
Oh, yeah. It's purple. I like that.
It's a little bit gaudy, but I think that Iwamoto's artwork elevates it because Iwamoto can make everything beautiful. I don't know why X throws fire. I don't know what the point of the fireball is. I don't speak Japanese, but maybe if someone was paying attention to the contest closer than I was and you remember, let me know. Why does he shoot fire? I don't understand that part. You'd think it would just be like light or energy or something. But I do think it's cool that the shield thingy that he has is kind of filled with, like, energy liquid.
Took it right from me. Yes.
Ooh, sorry, bro.
Oh, it's fine. Like, I just noticed that it's got, like, a liquid in it, and I don't know, man, I love it. One of the badges in Pokemon X and Y, it was the same sort of thing. Like, it was like a like a crystal shape, and it was filled with water. And like, you know, like when it animated, it would, you know, like you would see it sloshing around and stuff. And since then, I've always loved, you know, that sort of thing, and that's cool. Like, it's gonna break and get everywhere, but it looks cool right now.
Like, I wish I knew what that shield is for. Is it literally just as a shield, or does it shoot something, or is that just like a sippy cup that he drinks from when he's low on health? Like, I don't understand. How does it work?
That's where the Energen comes from.
Yeah. I mean, this armor is fun in that it makes me try to use my imagination to figure out what it's just vague enough that I'm trying to put it together in my head, like what it could possibly do. I'm imagining the shield is like, you know, filled with liquid energy, like that's what's in like E-tanks and stuff. And I imagine it's like derivative from like Energen or something.
Okay.
That's what I'm imagining anyway. I don't really understand it, but it's cool, you know. I also like some of the little additions that Iwamoto added to the armor. Like instead of one crystal on the shin, he added like the two, making like an arrow shape. I think that's a nice touch versus the original. Again, not bashing the original in any way. In the original, X's feet were just crystals. I do think that's a little too much. But it's still, like, you can see how this could evolve into a competent armor. So, like, I am all for it, and I think it's a good idea. I still don't know what the giant crystal skirt is on his back, though, but, man, he sure does have it.
Yes.
One thing I wanted to mention is that looking at, just at the color scheme, and like all the crystals and everything else all on him, he kind of reminds me of Cyber Peacock a little bit.
Yeah.
He looks a bit like a bird, you know? Like, I think it's because he has that crazy fantail going on. I don't know. It makes me think of Cyber Peacock, personally. But I don't know. I think this is an extremely beautiful, exorbitant, opulent, crazy armor, and I think that if anyone else were to draw it, I don't think it would look nearly as good if it wasn't Iwamoto, only because he loves making the X characters beautiful. So, that's what I got.
It's got an elegant look to it. Like, in the helmet here, it's severely limited the eyebrows to be just the inner ridge, I guess. And then it, like, has this, I don't know, like a V-fin made of crystals. That's kind of neat. And just
Yeah, I do like that.
And just the color scheme in general. Like, I like purple. I like gold. You know, this is royal, regal looking.
Like
It's
Vidal.
like Vava. This is what Vile was after all along. But, yeah, I mean, I used to write it off too quickly, but now that we've kind of talked about it, I'm kind of coming around. You know, I see a lot more good points than I used to.
Yeah, for sure. It is undoubtedly a little gaudy, but it is not poorly designed. I think the original, I mean, I'm just guessing, this looks like it might have been drawn by like a kid or something. So obviously they're not going to have the same finer points of design theory and stuff in mind. But I think what they have is interesting, and I think that it was definitely a worthy contender. I take more issue with the less with the design and more so with the like subject matter, I guess. It's like it's made out of like energy crystals. Like that's like a fuel source. Like this would be like if X was made up of like I don't know, like diesel engines or something, and he was just packed to the brim with crude oil, you know. But it's still a good looking armor in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's fine. But now we already did the Giga Armor, so how about we do the Giga Armor?
Yeah, let's talk about the Giga Armor. Do we want to talk about the unarmored Giga Armor or the fully armored Giga Armor?
Let's touch on unarmored real quick.
Okay.
It's got a little bit extra details. I remember being really excited for this when it was first teased because it said it was going to be the sequel to the Mega Armor series. I'm like, oh man, we're getting kits of everybody. They're going to be mix and match, and then totally wasn't even that, like, at all.
Yeah, I'm still salty about that. I only bought this because I found it on sale once at a store that I go to.
Mhm.
Normally they're an online store, but they actually have like a physical location not far from me, which is just their shipping warehouse. So you can go there and buy stuff, which is neat.
Ooh, that's cool.
It's a Gundam Planet if you've never been there.
Okay.
And they had this in their warehouse for like $45, which I thought was a crazy steal. So I picked it up, thinking that they were going to continue the Giga Armor series, which is a sequel to the Mega Armor series, and they were going to have mix and match parts and things like that. But that wasn't the case at all. I mean, it's still a fantastic figure, but definitely misled me a little bit with what they were planning.
Yeah, like maybe they were, but maybe this one just kind of flopped because it was pretty expensive.
It's possible.
Instead of just like those $20 kits or however much the Mega Armors were back in the day. But the unarmored version I think looks pretty cool. Like it looks like enough of a change to be like, yeah, this is a cool toy. It's doing something different.
A lot of my feelings on this armor are the same as with True Force X, except the color blocking on this armor is much closer to the default X.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas True Force X has a lot of different colors all over the place. This one has roughly the same amount of additional details, but the colors are more consistent with default X as far as like color blocking goes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it keeps the face.
Yes, and it keeps his kind of chubby, cutesy Mega Man face, which I like. I think that's good. The only thing that I wish they did is I actually almost wish the face was a little taller, just a little bit. I think it's a little too round, but it's otherwise fine. I don't really have that many complaints about it. Like, I can't even say it's a complaint. It's really just my personal preference. Like, I think the best face for X comes from the D-Arts figures, personally. So I really like those. Kota Pakia also did a good job, so. The X-Buster on the Giga Armor, when he's unarmored, the way that it transforms is that you open up the top and, like, the fist flips around and turns into a buster.
Really? Oh,
So
I see how that would work. Yeah.
So the forearm is literally the buster. Like, when you do it, like, the arm flips back, and then, like, you rotate it, and then, like... so, like, the forearm is the exact same shape as the buster, and then the fist becomes, like, a buster barrel. I just thought that was really cool that we finally have, like, a Mega Man X toy that the buster changing gimmick is built into the arm.
Mm-hmm. It's the Power Rangers flip heads of Mega Man.
Yes, rather than change out the whole arm, the buster is built into the arm. So I just thought that was cool. I don't have anything extra to add because it literally doesn't change the design at all, because it's the same. But I guess I do like that the wrist guard kind of overhangs the barrel of the buster when it is transformed. I think that's kind of neat. It makes me think of Mega X Ruby Spears a little bit. Something like that. But that's it. Moving on.
Okay. So this X also comes with a rush thing.
It certainly is something.
It's not really part of the design, but when are we going to talk about this? It comes with a rush that turns into a bike, and the bike turns into an armor.
Yes.
The end.
As I understand, this is armor that is based on rush and beat combining.
Okay.
Something like that. So, when you combine rush and the armor bits, it turns into a crazy hover bike ride chaser thing. And then, of course, you can take those bits off and then put the armor onto X, and then you still have like a fully functional rush with it. It's pretty cool. I have this figure, and the posability is pretty good, all things considered. X, actually, his posability could be a little better, specifically in the legs. Everything else seems to be okay. I don't know, it just feels like a little stiff, but it's still really just incredible that they managed to fit this many gimmicks into, like, one thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, let's talk about the design. So, like, we already went over basic X. It's pretty much just X again, just with some extra details laden into the armor. A little less busy, in my opinion, than the NX Edge version, which is just wrinkles. And I think it's cool that X has like transparent armor. Again, that seems to be like a recurring trend in like extracurricular Mega Man stuff.
Yeah.
Like the transparent armor means it's powerful. It's cool that he has like little X's etched into his armor that's beneath those clear parts. That's really sick. But let's go ahead and look at fully armored X. What do you think of that?
Not a fan.
Not a fan. You don't like the fully armored X?
Like, I love the chest. I think the chest is great. I think the legs look really cool if they didn't have the little pointy bits on them. And the buster without the yellow parts looks great. Everything else is just too much for me. Like, the white parts on the helmet make it, like, gigantic. Like, if it was just the gold, I think I might like that.
Well. How the turns have tabled. Because
yes,
I
they
feel
have.
the exact opposite.
Well, good. I think that's what makes the show interesting.
So that's interesting. So your feelings on the Giga Armor and your feelings on this Giga Armor are the inverse. That's crazy. That comes out that way.
Yeah. Like, okay, to be clear, I don't hate it.
No, you can hate it. It's fine. You don't gotta spare my feelings.
Well, I don't hate it. Like I said, I love the chest, but I don't know, just the head, the wings, the shield. I'll take the shield. And the underwear pockets. Like, I'm just not feeling it.
You're not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it.
So I'm gonna be the first to say I don't think it's like one of the best designed armors. But I do think it's competent. I really like the jetpack. I think that the wings on the jetpack are pretty cool. It gives me a Wing Zero vibe from Gundam Wing. So I like that. It actually, even the helmet gives me, the whole thing, really, gives me a Wing Zero vibe. It has the same kind of shaped shield, same kind of shaped wings, even the same kind of shaped head. So, all of that is very Wing Zero inspired, and I like that Gundam, so, like, I'm okay with that kind of profile. I will say this is not really a design perspective from like the visual part of it, but as a toy, this armor is constantly falling off, like the shoulders and the shield. It never really quite sticks together the way that it's supposed to, and that really bothers me. So it loses a few points there, but I think it actually looks pretty cool. I actually like the pointy bits on the feet, and I'm not sure why I do. I just think it's so unique and different.
It's like a windshield wiper for his feet.
Yeah, to keep his toe attackers clean.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're cool.
Real quick, while we're at the feet,
Yeah.
the white little platform things at the bottom, I love that. I think that's one of the strongest parts of the design.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's so
why. It
simple,
just looks.
too.
Yeah, it just looks really cool. I like it. Okay,
Yeah,
continue.
it's simplistic. It's easy. It's nothing crazy. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just really like the armor in general. One thing that I wish they would have added is, which I understand, this is a transforming toy armor, so I can totally understand why they had to leave certain things. But if you look at the legs, the transparent blue is still there, which is fine. But that means that the armor is just open, and it's just got it's not reinforcing the part of his leg that's probably going to be hit the most. So that kind of bugs me. But I do think the shape is cool. I like that it looks like this thing is like wrapping around his leg. I think that's neat. The shield I have no complaints about. It's just a shield. It's cool. It kind of looks like a bird face. Remember how I said it looks like it might be based off of Beat? It kind of makes me think of like a really stretched out Beat.
Oh!
Block your shot! Oh, you can't get through this shield. Something like that. I think the Buster is kind of cool.
Yeah, the Buster looks neat.
Buster is pretty neat. I think that's alright. It reminds me a little bit of like the Ultimate Armor. Like I would imagine these wings would like open wide, but I kind of like that they're more narrow and straight, and like it kind of it's more like going forward and back than it is like up and down. And the little side pockets, yeah, I can agree. There's not a whole lot going on there. I do think it's an interesting concept. I wish that there was like one extra little bit of white that you can clip onto like his belt or something, like as like a belt buckle, just to that kind
make
of
it a complete set.
Yeah, completes the whole thing. I think that would be perfect. So just like a little like boop, belt buckle thing that extends downwards a bit to cover the rest of his pelvis. That would have been like A+ for me. I don't know. I do really like this armor. I think it's super sick. My only complaints from the armor is not really so much what it looks like, so much as it's the figure itself is kind of finicky. Okay. Actually, you know what? There's one other area besides the pelvis, belt buckle, or lack thereof, that it loses points for me, and that is that the gem on his forehead is all but missing.
Oh yeah, it's completely covered.
It looks like it's supposed to be under that stuff because there's like a little window there. I think it would have been a bolder move to actually just completely cover it. Instead of showing the gem at all, just cover it completely with like white or something, which is what it kind of looks like in the artwork. And I think that would be interesting if, you know, you put this armor over it that covers his gem, which sounds blasphemous, but I think would make him look more streamlined. And would play on to the fact that this is armor that is layering on top of his existing armor, quite literally. I think that could be an interesting take.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I don't know.
So, you know, here's a question for you. So, I've never seen this artwork for it before on this little card here. Mm-hmm. So, what do you prefer? Do you prefer it as a figure design or, like, in artwork? You know, because they kind of give off two different vibes to me. So, which one do you like more?
They do give off two different vibes, and I think I prefer it as a figure. I think in artwork it's a little messy, but I think as a figure, it's okay. And like if you look at X in the artwork, it's just like regular X. You know, he doesn't have all the extra details all over him. Mm-hmm. So I think it works better as a figure because there's a lot of different parts of the figure's gimmicks and the armor's gimmicks that just tie together better. And also, his arm is just like a regular arm. There's like nothing on it. That's another thing I didn't like, is that if you take the shield off, his arm is just an arm. There's nothing special about it. I really do wish that... so, like, if you ever wanted to pose this one without the buster on, it would just be two regular arms. There's no, like, white armor to stick on it, which kind of bugs me a little bit. But, I mean, it's not terrible. It's really not bad at all. But I think it does work better as a figure because his proportions aren't quite so chunky. Like, if you look at the artwork, it's using some of the old school proportions where X is like a little bit more chunky and round. Yeah. And I think for an armor like this, the sleekness really benefits it better. You know what I would also like to see? I would like to see this armor slimmed down for like an X8 version.
I would. You know what? As soon as you were talking about the chunky stuff, I was like, I wonder if this will look like an X8. I'm glad we're right there together.
In sync, bro. We're right there. I think it would work better for X8 in like that kind of style, because this armor looks like it's supposed to be sleek and it looks like it's supposed to be like flying and stuff like that. And I think the chunkiness kind of takes away from that a bit. I mean, it can work. Obviously, you know, the Falcon armor exists, and I guess the Glide armor. But yeah, I think this armor will work better as like an X8 sort of thing. But overall, I think it definitely plays to its strengths as a figure, not so much in the artwork. Much like how I feel with True Force X.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. When I'm looking at them both, side to side, like I like the figure version more.
Yeah, but, same here.
Yeah, like you said, it plays to its strengths. But definitely not my first choice. But if I found it for that price, hell yeah, you know, of course.
Yeah, I was really on the fence about it, but then I was like, $45, no shipping, and I can take it home today. Of course, I'm gonna do that. So that's what I did. Mm-hmm. Before we get off of this topic real quick, what do you think of Rush? Let's talk about him, because when are we ever gonna get to discuss this thing?
It looks like it would be in like Strider or something.
It does. I don't hate this design, but it's a little too Boston Dynamics and not enough Mega Man.
Yeah, and
You know,
it just looks like a bad guy.
He does kind of look like a bad guy. He doesn't have that good boy vibe.
He's
I
this Rush will not play a funny saxophone thing when he comes into the room.
Exactly. Like, you know what he makes me think of? Like, when I see this Rush, I don't even hear like a heroic kind of like dog sounds. All I hear is like heavily modulated like bark, bark. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of lifeless. He doesn't have the same energy that like Rush would. And at the same time, I guess that makes sense because this is supposed to be like a mechanoid that turns into a ride chaser, and it's not intended to be super relatable. But I feel like that's what makes it loses its charm. It doesn't feel like this Rush doesn't feel like a good boy. This Rush feels like a piece of equipment.
Wait, hold on. This isn't Rush. This is Mega Man X's Canine Companion Zero.
Oh, you're right. Excuse me. I completely forgot. Yeah, he's red and everything. I'm so
Arf,
stupid.
I want one.
You should put up the magazine clipping if you.
Oh,
for
it's
people
coming.
who don't know. Okay, there it is. I don't know. It's an okay design. I admire it for its posability. It's a really good figure in that regard. And I like that his mouth can open for when he wants to eat pies. I think that's nice. That's a running gag between me and Bonus. Whenever we look at figures, we always she was getting How to Train Your Dragon figures, and she wanted to find one that had an articulated jaw so that she can stick a miniature pie in its mouth. So that we could say that so every time we see a figure with articulated jaws now, we're like, oh, this one can eat pies. So
good old toothpick.
It just kind of rolled out of my mouth, and I had to explain the context.
Hey, no worries. We all want a good pie every now and then.
Who doesn't love pie? Yeah, that's Rush. I forget what his full name is. Rush Jecht or something like that. It's like some weird German thing.
We just call him Zero.
We just call him Zero for short. He's too much Boston Dynamics, too mechanical, too real, and not enough good boy energy.
Yeah, he's more Velgarder than Rush, you know.
Yeah, but even Velgarder had like individual eyes. He's got like a visor thing going on.
I'm just saying he's more leaning towards that. Like he's scary more than I want to hang out with him, give him a hug.
Yeah, it turns into a really sick ride chaser though.
Yeah.
So like I got no complaints about that. That thing looks really dope when you put it all together, and kind of ties together with the Ultimate Armor tradition of like the armor comes off of his body and then turns into a vehicle. Like I like that. That's a really cool gimmick.
I think this armor's at its best when it's a ride chaser.
Yeah, it does look really cool. And just for funsies, I've even put other figures on it, and like they totally fit, and it looks great. So
nice.
But yeah, that's it. There he is. That's the Giga Armor the Second. I think I've said everything I could possibly say about it, so I think I'm done.
Yep, I'm also done.
I like how our opinions of each Giga Armor are inverse of each other. That's a really funny coincidence.
Yeah. Like at first it was just like, oh, it's kind of funny. These two have the same name. Ha ha ha. And then it became a whole thing.
Little did we know it would go so much deeper.
Everyone at home, what do you think about these armors? Because these are kind of getting more out there. So,
yeah,
you know,
the supplementary materials get crazy.
Yep, and we're at the tip of this iceberg, so it's gonna just keep going for a little while.
Comment down below, which of the two Giga Armors is your favorite? Giga Armor Superiority, baby!
Yep.
Let us know also, do you like the other Mega Mission armors? What do you think of those? Do you think the Energen Armor is a gross misuse of national resources, or do you think that it is perfectly justified to deck yourself out in a highly potent energy source that can shoot fireballs through walls, apparently? Does X look fabulous in it? Do you think the sword and Split Buster are too much for the original Giga Armor? Or do you think it just makes them look super awesome and cool? What do you think of the crazy Rush Beat combination armor that the other Giga Armor gets? Let us know down below. And,
Poor Tango,
I
he
guess-
didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, poor Tango. Well, that's because they were going to make a 0 Giga Armor, and Tango was going to turn into, like, some sort of claw thing.
There we go. Okay. We figured
Something
it out.
like that. I totally know. You know. My uncle works for Capcom. Anyway.
Yeah. Thanks
Goodbye,
for
everybody.
coming. Yeah, we'll see you next time.